What's up guys, welcome back to another OBD mastery video. Now today's video we're going to be talking about how you can fix a P0340 code on a 7.3 Ford from 1999 to 2003. So this video we're going to be talking about the root causes of this code, symptoms that you could be having, possible culprits of this code, how you can tackle them by troubleshooting them as well. So we're going to be talking about all of that. So let's get into the first here. Now, understanding the P0340 code is very important, all right? It's a very common code on 7.3s, just indicating that the camshaft position sensor circuit. Now, this sensor actually plays a crucial role, so understand that, but this code pretty much just signifies a malfunction in the CPS, which is cam position sensor. You know, it plays a crucial role in timing the engine's operation by sending information to the camshaft position to the PCM. All right. Now, failure in the CPS or its circuit can lead to poor engine performance, triggering this diagnostic trouble code. Now, moving on, couple symptoms of a P0340 code. Now, starting off here with engine misfire. So, you may notice that your 7.3 is actually running pretty rough. There is also a gas guzzling. All right, a lot of people don't tell you this, but if you're having a CPS cam position sensor circuit malfunction, usually you will have symptoms of gas guzzling on your 7.3. So if you notice that your gas or is getting eating up quite a bit, but yeah, that is indication that your CPS is going out. But basically the next is going to be hard starting. Difficulty starting the engine or complete failure to start can occur when the CPS circuit is malfunctioning. Now, you also have stall issues. It's very rare sometimes on the 7.3s that you'll stall out just right away and it won't turn back on. If your CPS is maybe one of the international ones, it'll just, probably keep like stalling, but it won't completely turn off. All right, it'll just keep going like that. It's drivable back home, but in most cases, different CPSs can just lead to your truck just stalling out completely and not turning on ever again until you replace that part. But the check engine light activation, this is pretty, self-explanatory on why it is. It's just the presence of the code. And reduce power and acceleration. Now, a noticeable loss of power and poor acceleration may occur, so impacting overall driving performance. Now, moving on, we're going to be, showing you how you can check the P0340 code or checking CPS. Now, you're going to want to locate the cam position sensor. Now, the cam position sensor is typically located on the front of the engine near the timing cover. Now, identify the exact position based on your vehicle service manual. So usually you can get it from underneath. All right, it's pretty easy. It's underneath that pulley. You're going to need a 10mm socket. So here you're basically just going to want to carefully disconnect the wiring harness from the CPS. Ensure that the engine is cool and it is off or whatever to avoid any electrical shock or burn. So just disconnect the battery as well if you want, just to be a little bit more safer. But just removing CPS, you're going to want to use a 10mm wrench or a socket, more preferably. I've done this on my 7.3, so basically it's a lot easier with a socket to get it out. A long socket will work perfectly for this job, but just remove the bolts by securing the CPS in place. Gently pull the sensor out of its mounting location. Be cautious not to damage surrounding components, very important. But you're going to want to get your new CPS. I will have a link down in the description for CPSs. Ideally, some of the forums talk about the international one being the best one, so I will link that one down in the description. But basically, you're going to want to install the new CPS into the mounting location and secure it with the bolts. Reconnect the wiring harness, ensuring a snug fit to avoid poor connections. Now, moving on here, we're going to be talking about how you can inspect wiring and connectors, as this can be, part of the process in troubleshooting it. Now, just do a little wire inspection. Examine the wiring for any visible signs of fraying or damage. It's pretty common for a code to get thrown out like this because you may have frayed wires to the connection of the cam position sensor, just throwing it off, shorting it off. There's not enough voltage, so it'll just throw the code. So just make sure that the wiring to the CPS is actually not frayed or damaged. Look for corrosion on the wire terminals, which can actually disrupt electrical flow as well. Check for any loose or disconnected wires that may affect the CPS signal. ensure that the insulation is intact and not peeling away. All right, that's very common, so just check that out. Make sure you do the whole entire wiring inspection. Moving on, connector inspection tips is just inspect the connectors for signs of moisture or corrosion inside the terminal. Ensure that the connectors are tightly fitted and not wiggling when pulled gently. Now use the electrical cleaner to remove dirt or oxidation from the connectors. This is pretty common, all right, oxidation. You want to get rid of it, so that could be a possible, way of troubleshooting and getting it work again, but consider replacing any connectors that show significant wear or damage. Now, we're going to be talking about how you can test the CPS and PCM. So make sure you prepare tools. You're going to need a multimeter, safety gear, and just a wiring diagram. But you don't necessarily need to do that, but just gather necessary tools, all right? Wiring diagram, safety gear, and ensure that the vehicle is off and the keys are removed before testing. Now, most of the time, if you want to test, CPS, you are going to have the ignition on to see where exactly the voltage is going, but you're going to want to test the CPS. So look at the CPS, all right, make sure that the vehicle ignition is on when doing this, but you're going to basically disconnect its connector, set the multimeter to the measure DC voltage, and then turn the ignition to on and probe the connector to check for voltage as per the diagram. Now, like I said, inspect the wiring for damage or corrosion. We've already went through this, but you can use a multimeter to test for continuity in wires. From the CPS, just look for breaks or shorts, and then check the PCM as well. So reconnect the CPS and test the PCM. Use a multimeter to check voltage ground at the PCM connector, and then scan for fault codes with a diagnostic scanner. Now moving on, you're going to want to ensure proper battery voltage. This is a pretty common culprit to lead up of a code that is, related to P0340, but just maintain a battery voltage above 10.5 volts during cranking is super crucial, all right, just to ensure the functioning of the PCM. Now, low voltage can prevent the PCM from activating essential components such as fuel injectors and all of that. So if you're not getting a start, that could be a possible culprit, that your battery voltage is too low and it doesn't pretty much want to send the firing to the CPS and basically turn on the truck. A healthy battery ensures that all electronic systems in the vehicle operate effectively, and just avoiding miscommunication between sensors and the PCM. So a healthy battery pretty much avoids miscommunication. Moving on, regularly testing battery voltage can help with the issues before they lead to more significant problems. So you could just get a battery tender. You can go to Walmart or whatever and basically charge your batteries. Usually there's 2 batteries on the 7.3, so basically just make sure that all of them are charged. If you have to exchange them, go on ahead and exchange them. It's very crucial, all right, to the startup. If you're starting it up consistently, you want to make sure that you are not low voltage, because it does put strain on the starter. So moving on, if you're not comfortable with any of these repairs, just seek professional assistance, all right? That's always the number one priority, because you don't want to worsen the problem. But if you know what you're doing and you can tackle the situation, then with further means, just go ahead and move on forward with it. Now, here are other causes of the P0340 code. This is just damaged or corroded wiring in the CPS circuit. It just disrupts the sensor signal, and basically it'll just lead to a short or whatever. Connector problems, loose or damaged connectors just may create intermittent connections, but resulting in the P0340 code triggering. Now, third one is going to be the PCM failure. There's just going to be, the PCM that's malfunctioning. It'll misinterpret signals from the CPS, causing this trouble code. Number 4 is obviously camshaft sensor code. The issue with it, but basically problems with the camshaft position sensor will affect the cam position sensor, potentially leading to the code. It's very important. We'll also talk about another possible culprit to this, but timing belt problems, all right, issue with the timing belt or chain can alter the camshaft position sensor, triggering the P0340 code. Dirty sensors, all right, this is another one. If you have really dirty oil or maybe water, let's say for example, water gets into it, it will throw it off. So emptying those fluids can be your number one diagnosis here. Could fix the issue, but most of the time, if you're in a dry area, usually isn't the culprit here, but it could still result in a code being triggered upon P0340. So we're going to be talking about this as well. The UVCH, which is the under valve cover harness. All right, this is a potential role of that, which could lead to your P0340 code. But a faulty UVCH, all right, it'll disrupt the electrical connections to the fuel injectors and glow plugs, affecting engine performance. Symptoms just includes poor engine performance, misfires, difficult starting. So if you're just trying to crank and it won't turn on, this could be a possible culprit to that. But just do your diagnosis, all right, kind of tackle it efficiently. Don't be pulling everything together. Do these tests with multimeters and all of that to ensure that, you know, it is up and working and it's, providing adequate power to your injectors. But oil leaks and damage, damage UVCH can cause oil leaks or just lead to decreased oil levels, potential engine damage if not addressed promptly. And then burning oil smell, leaky oil from a faulty UVCH or under valve cover harness can come into contact with engine components. So it'll just, produce hot burning oil smell, indicating possible malfunction. So be aware of that, all right? But UVCH basically could be a possible culprit, as it powers or it tells the injectors that it needs to fire and stuff, basically. So go ahead and check that out, all right? UVCH. So aftermarket modifications impacts, such as performing chips, tuners, or altered wiring systems. You might have had like a rodent or a rat or something bite into possible wiring that's very important to your tuners. I know a lot of people like using the juice, but just be aware of that, all right? It could create electrical interference or incorrect signal processing, and it could lead to a P0340 code, but it's just to ensure that any modifications do not interfere with the CPS functionality, maintain engine performance and reliability. So that's pretty much it for today's video. All right, thank you guys for watching another OBD mastery video. If this video did help you out, please consider leaving a like to the channel, subscribing to the channel. Leaving a comment is very helpful as well, you guys. But basically, hopefully this runs you down to the P0340 code on your FT50 1999 to 2003 7.3. So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, peace out.